So here's something that you all don't know about me. What you do know is I'm a pastor's kid. What you do know is that for the past couple of years I've been super skeptical and don't know what I believe in, all that great stuff. What you don't know is that oh boy. All right. Okay, let's do this. All right, guys. So today I wanted to speak my mind. As if I don't, do that. But I wanted to talk about the vlog that I put out Monday, which was about, it was titled, "I Will Not Believe in a God That I Can't Experience." And I still stand by that. I still stand by that a lot. And the thing is that the comments that were on that video hit a spot in me that's it's just frustrating, to say the least. And it's frustrating because man. It's really the feeling that I got from putting out that video and seeing the comments. It's just a feeling of just being misunderstood. And I know that a lot of people, obviously, like everyone, it feels misunderstood. So I'm not special in any sense by feeling that way. But I have to say it. And it's a feeling, being misunderstood is a feeling that's followed me around my entire life. Just being, an artist, pastor's kid, musician, just thinking the way that I think, just always just hating surface level things and always going way beneath the surface. Wow, can I even talk? God. Going way beneath the surface of things and just thinking deep about everything. So it's just feeling misunderstood is a common thing, and it was no different with that video. But the things that I think, the comments that I was getting that were so frustrating was things that people have been saying to me for the last couple of years, ever since I've been in this spot of being skeptical of all of my beliefs and skeptical of God and everything. And so those are things that I wanted to talk about today and address, because a lot of people hear these things, deal with these things. A lot of people say these things. Christians say these things to non-believers. And there's a lot of it that doesn't make sense. And so it needs to be talked about. It needs to be said, not just for, to give my mind some peace, to try to help others, help you all understand more where I'm at, and to help others hopefully help others put words to what they've been feeling, and in ways that they haven't known how to express it. So, three things. One of the things that people constantly have been saying to me, and constantly in the comments as well, is to surrender. You need to surrender. So here's something that you all don't know about me. What you do know is I'm a pastor's kid. What you do know is that for the past couple of years I've been super skeptical and don't know what I believe in, all that great stuff. What you don't know is that oh boy, I used to preach on Sundays. I was a young adult leader. I was a worship leader, singing, leading crowds in worship. I sacrificed 3 years of my life and went to ministry school. And all these points are, obviously those are things that I did, but the surrender didn't happen in public places. The surrender happened when I was alone in my room, praying and reading the Bible and asking to know God more. And the thing is, when all of this skepticism hit me, right? I I did think, I was like, okay, this is a test. I just need to surrender. This'll subside in a couple months, whatever. And so I stayed on the worship team. I stayed as a leader in my church, and I was like, this is me surrendering. The pain felt good because I was like, this is the pain of surrender. And I stayed in that for almost a year. A year. And then there came a point when surrender felt like hypocrisy. And I couldn't do it anymore. Because in the depths of my being, I was like, I'm questioning all of this. How am I going to be able to preach and teach this stuff and lead people in worship on Sunday morning if I'm questioning the existence of God? I mean, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be true to yourself. I mean, there's no, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. I'm not going to apologize for it. Is that you had, if I feel like a hypocrite, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. What I want is truth. The reason I'm skeptical is because I'm searching for truth. I want the truth. Obviously, if God is real, if He exists, then I want to know that. I want to know the truth. I want to know Him. I want the truth. And so that's what's behind skepticism, is wanting to know the truth. It's not being skeptical to be skeptical. It's being skeptical because you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't add up. So what is the truth? I'm sure if there's a ton of people in the room, you take it, there's a Buddhist in this corner, Hindu in this corner, atheist in this corner, Christian in that corner, and somebody's standing up there saying, all right, so how many of you would want to know the absolute truth? Undeniable, indisputable, absolute truth. Everybody in that room, no matter what you believe, would raise their hand. And so me being skeptical, that's me. I'm just wanting to know the truth. Oh man, I don't even know how I got to that point, but I guess that needed to be said. So I think the point that I was trying to get at is there's a point in the surrender where it's you're being a hypocrite and you know it, and so you got to get out. And so I got out of it. And I mean, I have to say, there's still I understand, let me say that. I understand that faith, I do think there is benefit to having faith. I don't think faith is, it's illogical, it's unreasonable, but I think that there's a point to it. And faith is an action. So yes, I still talk to what it feels like walls, but God, with hopes that He would listen. I don't hear anything back. But hopes that one day, so I know that I have to, in order to go through this journey, I know that I have to apply myself in faith. And so if you want to call those moments that I have every day surrendered, then I'm surrendering every day. So number 2 is people say you do experience God every day. You see Him in other people. Okay, there's a number of problems with that. The first one is people are flawed. People are not perfect. And obviously you know this. But let me put out an example, is that when somebody does something good for me, let's say somebody were to do something good for me or to encourage me in some way, I think a Christian might say, if they did that this is all God, this is all God, and a Christian that is receiving that might say, I got that from God. Well, here's the thing, is that number one, if it's all God, number one, it wasn't that good. It's kind of downgrading God. And you can disagree with that all you want, but it kind of irks me when somebody does something good and somebody says something super encouraging and then they're like, that was all God. I'm like, it wasn't that good. Man, so many people are going to get offended by that, but that's okay. And then being on the, other side of that, being a Christian receiving that and just saying, that was so good, that was God. It's but they're a good person. They're a good person. And so are you saying that everything good that they do is God and everything else is them, everything bad is them and everything good is God? It's come on. Are we going to be able to accept that people are good? I mean, it's just both of those situations, both of those points really irk me. Like it hits a point in me where I'm like, okay, there's something so twisted about this that it's just not making sense. And I mean, going back to the other perspective of like, you know, it wasn't me, it was all God. I'm like, dude, oh, it's tough for me to say this, but it's really like, could there be like a higher level of false humility? I mean, like, come on. Anyway, I'm saying enough about that. Okay, so the last one, number 3, the point that I want to make is when people say it's your pride that's getting in the way, it's ego. I'm thinking, really? Okay, so you're telling me that you're a Christian, right? And that everything that you know about God and that you say about God is right, and you're claiming to know all of the answers to everything. Wherever there's a question, it's God. Wherever there's this, it's God. And let's take an atheist perspective, right? And they say, I don't know. I'm just wanting to know the truth. Like, what to you sounds more prideful? Okay, so let me say this to try to explain it a little bit more. There are theists, there are agnostics, there are agnostic atheists, there are atheists, and there are anti-theists. I think the people who are absolutely prideful, in a sense, that they absolutely have it right, could be one of these two: the anti-theists and the Christians. I'm not speaking to everyone. Obviously, I'm not saying all Christians are prideful and all anti-theists are prideful. It's not what I'm saying. I am saying that there are more. You get what I'm saying. A lot of anti-theists are like, God is not real, and I will not accept any proof or evidence that he is, if he is. And then there's Christians that are saying God is real, and any proof or evidence that says otherwise, I will not look at, not believe, not go toward any of it. And then in the middle with the agnostics and atheists who are like, I don't know, but I'm looking for truth. As long as you're looking for truth, as long as you're in a pursuit of truth, then I think that is humility. Maybe some of you understood what I just said. Maybe some of you didn't. Maybe some of you think it's pride to not admit that God is the one true God, the Christian God is the one true God, and that it takes humility to admit that. And I'm like, that's not like the God that I read about in the Bible. That's not it. I don't know any other way to say it, but it looks to me like, from what I've read in the Bible, is that like Jesus was not a guy who was like, bow down to me and you, like, I will give you nothing and I will get nothing. You just have to admit to me that I am Jesus. Like, there was always a sign and wonder. There was always a healing. There was always saving somebody. There was always evidence. There was always an experience. There was always a sign and wonder in some way, showing loving kindness. And it was that brought people to humbly accept him. There was no, like, even the people that were prideful about it, like, Jesus performed signs, wonders, and miracles, and it made people see, it made people believe. So it's just, I know I'm not doing justice to what I'm trying to say. But so this was a longer video, and if you've made it this far, thank you. Hopefully that clears some things up and asks more questions and puts things more out into the open. And I probably just opened a huge can of worms, but let's do it. Cool. Awesome. So if you did like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.